Well, this isn't Hollywood, but it will do, I guess. We are just south of San Jose. Welcome to Laguna Seca Sim Racing Alliance's Division 4 Round 7. Here, I'm Taylor Mano. Join me on the desk tonight. Bailey Kish, how are you doing?
Taylor, I'll tell you what, California knows how to party, as the wise man of Snoop Dogg has said in the past. But I am excited to be here. It's going to be an exciting race. Lots of carnage would be my guess.
And if anyone knows about partying, judging by your picture, you should be the best to know. I came in suit and tie today. Looks like you came with your solo cup.
You know me.
But welcome, everyone. This is Round 7, the penultimate round of Sim Racing Alliance Division 4. We have quite a big championship fight on our hands that we'll go over a little bit later. We are just waiting for the qualifying session to get underway here shortly. We'll go in, but this is probably a good time now, if any, to say if you don't know how our qualifying sessions go, it is going to be 20-minute qualifying split into two parts. First part will be our silver drivers for the first 10 minutes. Second part will be our gold drivers for the next 10 minutes. And if you're asking yourself, who's gold and who's silver? If you direct your attention over to the left side of the screen, you can see everyone's names, driver numbers, everything. Everyone with a silver driver number plate will be your silver drivers. Everyone with a white driver number plate will be your gold drivers. And saying that silvers are just out on track, and it should be a fun race today. Lots of carnage happening. If anything is like our practice races last night, from what I heard, it is a cluster, at least in the first lap. And I know you weren't there, Bailey, but judging off of your practice, I know you've been struggling. What's probably the toughest part we can look forward here tonight?
Well, I mean, you didn't have to call me out like that.
Yeah.
I look like a fool. The hardest part for me personally, it's probably more skill-based. I like to blame the car, but I would find the corner exits to be the most difficult. Finding the right time to get on the throttle to where you're not understeering out into the gravel, because once you get in the gravel, it's you're gonna lose a couple seconds, and you could also, depending on how hard you go into the gravel, could ruin your race. So it's definitely going to be the biggest key of hitting that part, making sure you don't go too early, and if you do, lift a little bit, because the gravel is treacherous. Not only will you lose time, you'll lose positions, and you may even gain damage. So yeah, lots of concentration going to be key tonight.
And the kind of key part of this track, at least from what I saw in race, was taking slow in, fast out approach. Your entries into these corners don't really mean a lot, but your exits are what mean everything. But if you can hook up a good enough lap to get those braking points down, you can get a blistering 21. As Bailey is off of a 23, but we are on board with Space Baker. On board with Space Baker, who's looking to try to set at least a 22 here tonight. I know the D4 drivers were kind of in that ballpark range. Mid to low 22s was their qualifying pace. So we'll look here to see what was happening. So far, Space Baker kind of taking a more cautious approach. This is just kind of the warm-up laps. These tires will take a few laps to come in. While we are waiting for these tires to come in, Bailey, would you like to highlight some key overtaking areas?
Taylor, I would love to. I have this privilege every week, and I'm glad to do this. Key overtaking areas we're going to see mostly probably down into turn 1, as it is coming. Yep, sorry, turn 2. Turn 1 doesn't exist. It's a kink, but yeah, turn 2, the Andretti hairpin. Going to be seeing a lot of people probably going too wide there. Having the inside line would probably be the best line, as it is the shortest way around track, but you can hold the outside line to have yourself set up for the inside line going into turn 3. So anything is possible there, but we will see a lot of overtaking action going into there. The rest of the lap is kind of tight. We might see some into turn 5. down the inside there, and then I don't know, a couple of the rest of the corners are kind of treacherous, so we may not see. We might, but yeah, those are probably the two most, I would say. Maybe turn 11, the last corner going onto the pit straight would be my presumption.
Well, any of these turns can kind of be overtaken areas. They can all be taken too wide, theoretically. Safely is the other concern, determining on whether you trust the driver next to you, if they're going to leave you enough space. All those fun factors to factor in. But we shall see for the race, which will be happening in 15 minutes as we're on qualifying. Space Baker currently leading the silvers, and as I say that, Caster cursing. Schaefer is now leading the silvers with a 23.8. Decent time, decent banker lap to start. Space Baker not going to be able to improve at all. We'll have to go all the way back around again. But you know who is improving a lot? Martin Riggs here. Coming down the pit straight, 2nd and 6/10 up. We'll take provisional pole for the silvers, 23.2, and we'll start their next hot lap. Tires for that Honda have come in, and Hondas and Porsches gotta be the highlight car this week, isn't it?
For sure, yeah. If anybody tuned into the Transatlantic Cup that was hosted on Saturday, the top 10 out of the top 10, 9 of the 10 cars were either Porsche or Honda. So and those are going to be deadly around here. So we'll see if anybody proves us wrong, but I'm sure it will be done.
They're even more deadly in the dry. Those two cars, you can really just kind of chuck it around, throw it about, not really care about how the car's going, just trust it to stick. But we do only have one Porsche here tonight. That is Donahue. Now, we coined the rise of Donahue last race after his amazing comeback that he pulled out. Going from last to, I believe it was P8, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's correct.
He has another taller tonight. Being the only Porsche, we're saying it's probably the best car out there for this track. Tall order, he is in prime position to take this race.
And I asked Mr. Donahue before the race how he was feeling. His exact words were, "Well, it might be mediocre Donahue tonight."
Not what you want to hear. What you do want to hear is Logan Schaefer is 8 thousandths off of provisional pole away from Riggs right now and is improving on their lap by 2/10. Did just start the lap only in sector 2 right now. So we'll see where that leads, but he's on pole, or he's on track to get provisional pole.
Oh, Steven Sarver. Sarver was up 8/10, and Robichaud just kind of parked it in front of him, going into the back of him, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, these things do happen in racing, which is why you kind of get 10 minutes. So if you mess up one, you have another 4 to go off of. But it still is a very short amount of time. If you mess up, you're having to spend extra time warming up those tires again, and it's just not fun.
I actually had a little conversation with Sarver before we jumped in stream here. Sarver said he's feeling pretty good about this race. Says hope to qualify high, and hopefully there's a lot of self-inflicted wounds, which everybody is predicting to happen. So Sarver looking pretty good, feeling good this week.
The main thing from what I took away from D1 people is saying is maybe don't go 3 wide into turn 1 kink. Turn
Skill
2,
gap.
sure, but
that just sounds like a skill gap.
Yes. Schaefer was on pole until Martin Riggs obliterated his time by 5/10.
Wow.
22.6.
That's
leading
disgusting.
the silvers. Martin putting on an absolute showing right now. And so is Unda. 2nd and 2/10 up on their time. Will put their car P3 with a 23.2. Still a respectable time in the silver division. See if they can hook it up a little bit more. Schaefer needs to find 5/10 somewhere. Currently isn't finding the pace at all. Does kind of seem like that throughout the rest of the pack. Recton is up on their time down in P14. Boonstra going to back out in the back there, I believe. We'll have to restart. Recton goes P10 with a 25.2. There's no one really making up time yet. We still have a minute and a half left, so everyone can theoretically still get around the track, get another lap in, and go. As Riggs pulls off to the side, maybe running out of fuel, that will be the end of their qualifying. They are saying provisional pole. Schaefer does not look in sight to take that provisional pole away from him. So it looks like that's how it will turn out. Zach Sky is also on a scorcher, 7/10 up on their time. It's only in Sector 1.
Yeah, and Riggs is sitting very nicely. 22.6 is, for D4, is a very respectable time.
Yes. He will be mixed in with the Gold Division drivers here, but that is still yet to come. Schaefer is finding some pace, but it's probably a little too late. So I believe this is one of the more shorter tracks on our calendar this season.
I believe that is. I think it is the shortest. Yeah, I think that is correct.
Only minute 20s in times. I think most other tracks are minute 30s, 40s, sometimes even 2 minutes.
Yep.
So we are in for a blistering pace. You know what we didn't go over, Bailey?
What's that?
Once again, we didn't have our pit boss here today. We didn't go over penalties.
No.
I see a couple people in the silver division sitting in pits without a time.
Man, having no pit boss kind of kills the mojo here.
If you want to look at it, by all means, go for it. I'm actually going to retract my statement of silver's in there with no time, because I'm blind. But while you pull that up, we're going to watch Zach Sky pull off into the gravel. That will be their qualifying done. It's actually all of silver's qualifying done, so currently all silver drivers that are still out on a hot lap will need to finish. One of those people is being Justin. Rounding out their sector, no real improvement just yet. Can make up a ton of time here in the last corner if you can nail it just right.
Well, Taylor, to kind of fill in the gap here while we wait for the gold drivers to go around. Division 4, 0 penalties applied to this race. There was only one penalty that was reported last week, and it was a lap 1 auto ticket.
Good job, guys.
So D4 showed up last week.
Good job. Would it be clean? I retract my statement of anyone sitting in the pits as Madison is coming around here on an invalid lap, so that will be their qualifying session over. P14 for them. Driver behind, Sarver improving on their time, just enough to put them in P6 of a 24-1. Space Baker improving on their time, not going to go anywhere. We still get some improvement, 23.8, and that will spell the end of silver qualifying for us. And our token driver, Anastasi of D4, will be leading off the golds in qualifying today. So I'm already seeing a massive backlog happening.
Yeah, I mean, it was bound to happen with how small this track is.
It is. We also have 27 drivers on the track right now. I mean, not the fullest grid we've ever had. Still a good amount of drivers for this track, though.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
And Stagi's looking to make quick work, trying to get that provisional pole position. Would do so much for his chances at taking home this race and possibly kind of putting a pin in the season.
But it's not going to be an easy race, as Dreebs has been looking mighty feisty in the practice sessions. We got Martin Riggs up there with a mighty competitive time, so it's not going to be a cakewalk for him, especially with how hard this track is to drive. So he's got those two factors to deal with today.
It's going to be an interesting race, to say the least, when it all gets said and done. Anastasi coming around off final turn to put the first time in for the gold drivers. It does look like a pretty smooth exit. Might have took a little too much curb on the inside, maybe clipped the sausage, but it will be enough to put them P4 for 23.4, just the warm-up time. Dreebs coming right behind them, 23.5, just a 10th off. Cameron coming in P2, 23.2 for them. These gold times are starting to trickle in, finally mixing up the silver crowd a little bit. Wasn't expecting them to be this high. We might be looking towards a 21 here tonight.
Oh boy, 21 would be disgusting to watch.
Not from Anastasi on this lap, as that lap is invalidated for him.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of improvement to hit a 21. So And as we're seeing people come through on their second lap, there's not a whole lot of improvement from anybody to really be flirting with the 21.
Remember, Martin Riggs didn't set his best lap until his third lap. That was
is true.
about a second and a half up away from what he set as a banker lap. So it's not too out of the question here. It is about a second and a half workup for these drivers. But it is doable. Not doable for Dreebs on this lap, clipping the sausage curb a little too much there. We'll have to go around again. And we'll actually set a positive lap here, though.
Wow.
Still, not by a lot, just a 10th. Just enough to put him ahead of Anastasi.
Yeah, Cameron came out with an absolute flyer on his first lap there, and is kind of just trotting around now, running the same lap times.
I mean, everyone's trying to warm up their tires. Again, 2 to 3 laps, those tires actually start coming into window. Donahue's having no issue getting their tires into window as they're up 5/10 on their time. Not a great exit out of the final turn. Will still improve, not by a ton, just enough to go P8, 23.6 for them. Trying to make up all the time they can, taking that line as close as possible on the inside down the main straight. And not going to set another valid lap. A little too much gas on the exit there out of turn 1. Ooh, Lorenzo having to avoid Donahue a little bit. Doesn't entirely mess up their lap, but can keep her going still. Probably just mentally slow down a little bit. You're on board with Anastasi. How's that lap looking?
He's up 2/10 right now. He's got one more corner to go. Very crucial corner. 2/10 could put him top 3 at the moment, as he has kind of a rough exit as he's trickling down time. Gonna be running the same lap here. I think he's gonna stay P6, but Dreeb's up 6/10.
Yes, that is P2 for Dreebs. 22.7. Sorry about that. Just needs about 7 hundredths just to tie provisional pole.
Yeah.
So we were on board with Lorenzo during that explanation, going a little too wide in the sand, got a little wiggly. Can finally show what that does to a car. Just under 4 minutes left in the session. Anastasi not having a great qualifying session right now. Not sure what could be going wrong in the tank over there. Dreeb's trying to find it any time they can, going a little too deep on that corner. Will invalidate, take it to the sand. We'll just have to warm up those tires again. Lorenzo trying to put in a decent lap themselves. Just needs about half a tenth really to, you know, at least position into the top 10, which would be outstanding starting position, just to see what would happen up front, because we do still have a few silvers in the mix, including our provisional pole leader Martin Riggs. Schaefer, Unda, Air, and Spacebaker are threaded into that top 10 still, as we only have 2.5 minutes left.
Cameron, who put in his heater on his very first lap, pulls off. I think he doesn't have enough fuel. He might have enough time to go around and do a quick lap, but the tires definitely won't be up to temp. Yeah, I think he is going to, but
he can go out, get around fast enough. He's just gonna have to be extremely aggressive on the out lap, warming up them tires if he does.
Yeah, he did. I think it was 4 laps. The first one was his best. The last one he improved by like half a tenth. So not being able to find it.
Lorenzo is able to find his way into the top 10 with a 23.7. Dreeb's looking to find their way on provisional pole, coming up to the corkscrew corner. Probably one of the most famous corners here in American circuits.
Also the most butchered corner, I would say. Unpopular opinion.
Look for carnage to be there. Just not even two cars colliding, just self-inflicted carnage. Too much gas, too much brake, anything too much or too little can absolutely obliterate that corner. But Dreebs is going to obliterate Riggs' time, but not by a lot. 22.627 versus a 22.677 is what separates these drivers. That is 0.05 of a second.
Outstanding. So glad I'm not seeing 2021s today. Feel a little bit better about myself.
You'll see them tomorrow.
Yes.
Not a lot of drivers out on track right now, and just actually Dreebs when they're qualifying under a minute left there. That is an invalidation. They will not be able to get around and complete another lap. No one really improving a ton. Zuch improving by about 0.2 right now.
Anastasi pulls off to the side as well.
Not the qualifying Anastasi once. We'll have to shift their focus to the race real quick. Zuch trying to bust her way a little bit deeper into that top 10.
Donahue sitting in P5, also not improving, falling down time here. So this might be the end of it.
But for a quote-unquote mediocre Donahue, that's a decent position to have as he does
Absolutely.
pull off.
I would say that's into the wall.
Pull off into the wall. Same thing. Zuch up 0.5 on their time, coming down to the final corner, the make or break corner. And they put it all together. 6:10 sub, not the greatest of exits. Will bleed out a little bit of time, but couldn't gas it all the way to the line enough to make their improvement matter. Sounded like they ran out of fuel.
Oh no.
Front stretch as they were coming to the finish line.
And while that happened, Walid Sadat snuck up into 7th on his final lap.
Lorenzo's going to sneak their way up back into the top 10, just barely. Not going to be able to do it. Air will beat out Lorenzo's time, so your top 5 will be Dreebs, Rigg, Cameron, Schaefer, Donahue. 2 out of the 5 drivers up there are silver drivers. Not a statistic we normally look at and say, wow. But having a McLaren up in the top 5 is an achievement in itself, regardless if you're silver or gold. But if you're a silver, it's just an extra bit harder. Driver's going to get their setups all ready. We'll try to get their brakes warmed up once time ticks down. If you don't know how our race sessions go, let me walk you through it real quick. We have an hour-long race.
What if we sprint through it this time? It's quicker.
Okay. We have an hour-long race. We have an hour-long race here. A mandatory pit stop within a 10-minute pit window that will open up at the 35-minute marker. Right? Am I correct about that?
Are you?
I've only been driving for 2 seasons here. I feel like I should know this, but...
I believe this is our 3rd season, brother.
Fair enough. Yes, I'm correct. 35-minute marker on the timer in the upper portion of your screen. Once that hits, a pit window will open. Drivers are required to pit and refuel at least 1 liter of fuel. Doesn't have to be any more, but it can only be 1 liter. They do not have to change tires if they want to. By all means, go for it. Might be a strat here today, as this tire does like to eat away at, or this track likes to eat away at tire. Oh my, I'm fumbling words already. Let's go.
You got this. You got this. I believe in you.
Well, while I fumble words, I'll try to fumble my way through the standings. How about that?
Okay.
We'll start off with the team standings here. Pretty close, to be honest. Anything can really happen, at least within the top 5 if all pieces kind of land correctly. Paranoid Racing kind of out there in the lead, 761 points. And then Baseline Racing Romeo, 699 behind them. Landons have dropped off since last race. 693 is their position. Ghost Rider Racing Ram Ranch not falling terribly far behind, but far enough behind. 583 points.
And a little update on the team standings here today. The Landons, there's only one Landon today. No Landon P tonight.
Again.
Yeah, and as I look down the current driver list, I also don't see a Scott Smith or a Matthew Browning.
Wow. This is also a dream start here for Anastasia and Air, as both of their drivers in the top 10 as our pole sitter is in the pits.
Oh, he forgot to press drive.
Click drive that promotes Riggs to pole position now.
Oh boy.
So go get him, Riggs. We do that.
That is not good.
The driver standings, Anastasia, a little bit of a closer battle here. Anastasia leading the way and will be having a good chance at probably putting a pin in it, especially now that Dreebs has started from the pits. Anastasia 461, Dreebs falling closely behind with like 424 points. Fade, who I don't see here tonight, 409, sitting in third. Lorenzo could be a gap open into the top 3, possibly top 2 here if everything falls right. 388 points. They sit. Scott Smith, 373 points. Everything to play here still. That top 5 is all within 100 points, and you can earn 112 points maximum in the race. Everything to play for, as drivers are now starting to go double file here, or at least attempting to go through corkscrew.
Yeah. Doing their best to catch up is more of what they're doing.
Correct. If you don't know how our broadcasts work, your main screen will try to capture the front action. If you're looking for more of back action, look in your picture-in-picture window in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. You can see that all there as we are starting to slow down, line up, get ready to go. It's a lonely time at the top there for Riggs. So I believe Dreebs will be released after the final people kind of cross the pit line.
And that is released from the pit box, not from the pit line.
Correcto.
So he's going to have to tremble all the way down the pit road as well.
He will, as we are about to get started racing. Green flag, and here we go. Cameron gets an absolute mega jump on Riggs. Riggs is going to have to tend to the outside. Donahue's looking for a move up on the inside of Schaefer. Does look to be getting that move done. So far, so good. Side by side,
we
they
have it
all
off.
go.
We have it off.
Riggs getting demoted. There's contact between Riggs and Donahue. More collisions. Riggs is off track. Donahue keeps the car going. Anastasi's looking down on the inside of Sadat. Not going to be able to get the move done. Is going to be able to get the move done on Donahue, trying to get back into the race. There is more collision between Donahue and the Ghost Rider. Not sure who that was, but Donahue has fallen back more positions. Anastasi's looking to make up more positions. Down on the inside, Sadat goes on Schaefer. Is going to try to get the move done. Not going to be able to do it. Schaefer completes that move. Cameron going away with this lead, not getting caught up in the pack. Coming back side by side is Sadat, going up into the corkscrew, not where you want to go too wide in, but Sadat's going to take it anyway. Back out is Schaefer. Scusa does have to react to that. Anastasi's fending off Zuch. Anastasi will get away relatively cleanly here on that lap.
Space Baker, I think, is around in... Oh, we have an accident. I believe it's Space Baker got sideways into the downhill of the corkscrew.
Now what you want to see is Anastasi's going in for the dive on Scusa in the final turn. Is able to get the move done relatively cleanly. Good job, boys. As Scusa's now under pressure by Zuch here coming down into turn 2. Anastasi's going to have to look to his inside as well. Scusa's catching that slipstream. Down the inside goes Scusa. Not going to be able to do the move. Zuch trying to hold that outside line. Going to go for a switchback. Not going to be able to complete that. We'll just slot right back in line, and we'll get the line going once more.
Very brutal first lap. Very, very intense.
intense indeed. And we're still not done as Zuch is all over the back of Scusa trying to get by. Anastasia has a lot more time to make up to Schaefer. Lorenzo also closing the gap to Kevin Unda.
Just quickly glancing, 4 of our top 5 drivers who qualified there are not there anymore.
Yes. Granted, one started from the pits, the others contact. Doc is off into the wall, it looks like. I believe you caught that, if I'm not mistaken. Down in the corkscrew, everyone goes once again. So far, no spins, at least for the front pack here. Sarver's closing that gap to Zuch ever so slightly. Not going to be able to get done. Zuch parking it on the apex. Is going to go for a more defensive line here. Sarver not thinking about it, is holding. No move yet. Sarver going to just kind of sit back and relax. We still have 57 minutes of racing here left. Everyone hold on to their pants because we are not done.
Well, Cameron, 5 seconds ahead already.
That's what happens when you're not in this pack that's fighting to death right now, as Anastasi tried to capitalize on a move on Schaefer, who decided to go off into the sand. Wasn't going to be able to do it, but they look to be carrying a lot more speed in these corners right now. So he is poking his nose to the inside, not going to do the move, made a little fake out, does take a lot of curb on the inside. Can hold it together. Scusa getting a little wobbly on the back. Might open the door for Zuch here. Zuch not going to go for it. Probably the smart move for that turn coming up to corkscrew corner. So everyone's just going to file in single file. Everyone get down the corkscrew. Hopefully nice and clean. Thank you. Have a good day. Enjoy the ride. What's happening backpack, Bailey?
Just a lot of nose to bumper going on back here. A couple people struggling with the downhill of the corkscrew at the moment, as people just kind of half spin, kind of catch it loose, 2-3 positions. So a lot of crucial mistakes going on early here.
What a move by both Anastasi and Zuch, going down on the inside of the final turn, able to get the moves done. I actually kind of want to replay that. Both of them going side by side next to their cars. Is just able to get the move done. Anastasi forcing the McLaren or Schaefer out to the outside. Great move by both of them, keeping it clean. So far, they're all still in line. Anastasi's looking to break away, get up to Sadat finally. And 7 seconds is the gap to Cameron now.
Yeah, and there's a mega train behind Sadat here, all the way from P2 to P12.
If you just take a look at the mini map on your on the right hand side of your screen, you can just see the clusters of people driving. It's extremely hard to pass on this track.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to wait for the mistake to come through. Point in case is Dreebs is only up to P20 right now. And
yeah, Waleed's definitely got the upper hand here. Oh, and there's contact, top of corkscrew.
It will be the car
White
of
Scarver and Unda.
Yep.
White Scarver's still just parked.
This car is Schaefer and Sadat going side by side here into the final corner. Late on the brakes, as Sadat is able to hold that outside line, but that's not viable there. Schaefer holding the mega inside line, will be able to get the run out of the corner, but does that engine power work? That Ferrari engine so much better than the McLaren engine. They're all sliding in line. Zuch now coming in, trying to go for the dive on Sadat. Not going to happen. All the way down to the inside. There's contact in the background there. All cars able to hold it together for the most part. Zuch isn't going to be able to make the move. 3 wide into the next turn is Sarver and Lorenzo, keeping it clean. Everyone just going to slot right back in line. Zuch all over the back of Sadat, though. It's now on the outside. Here comes Scusa on Zuch. Zuch does have the inside for this corner. It is preferred to have the inside. Zuch going all the way through. Will cut off Scusa and hold that position. Good racing so far from these top drivers here.
Yeah. Well, the new top drivers. Looking at previous past top drivers here. Landon Dreebs up to 17th was fastest lap.
Zuch going extremely wide, having to take all the way to the gravel. So all that work that she has done to get all those places is all for none, as she is demoted back to P9 air. And Boonstra are looking to overtake her now. Boonstra on the outside, doesn't look to get the move done, is poking their nose out down the inside for a dive, is just enough there to hold it. Does get the move done. Zuch going a little wide, won't be able to hold it, but does that engine again outpower the McLaren? It looks to be happening. Zuch's engine is going to be able to hold the outside here. Side by side they go down here in the turn 2. Zuch still trying to hold the outside. Outside very wide, trying to carry all that speed. Boonstra is able to hold the inside, and that position is all hers.
When Donahue and Recton just come together, not sure what happened there. It looked like to be a bit of argy-bargy, as they say.
On board with Zuch, just getting a look at what she has to look at in front of her and in her rearview mirror right now. As side by side, 2 people go. It looks like that is Justin and Sky going. They do it cleanly. Surprisingly, Justin is able to get that move done, and up in the corkscrew, they would just go back in the single file as Zuch all over the back of Boonstra here, literally touching bumper to bumper. So,
oh no, and Dreves and Donahue come together.
Not what you want to hear for the Dreves, trying to make up as many positions they can for that championship. Is not going well. P16 they are up to though, so good on him so far, as we have a couple people in the pits repairing damages.
Yeah, we've had about, I think, 5 people already in the pits to repair damage.
Ooh, and three-way battle. Scusa and Sadat trying to go in. Lorenzo tried to get the best of him. Scusa down on the inside of Lorenzo. Does look to be able to get that move done. Will end up being able to block off Sadat. Lorenzo trying to get past Sadat. Not going to be able to happen. Will Lorenzo have the run here? Side by side, Lorenzo down on the inside of this turn, but we'll have the outside for next turn. Sadat late on the brakes will keep that position. And Lorenzo will just have to slot in. There are battles everywhere.
Yes. Lots of side-by-side action, which we predicted.
Small tracks generally produce this kind of racing. Zuch faster than Boonstra in the corkscrew. No dive seen here. Lucky for us, we won't have to commentate an explosion. But Zuch all over the back of Boonstra. Lorenzo is also approaching Sadat relatively quickly. Not going to be able to get anything done there. Neither is Zuch. Coming down here into turn 2. Ferrari on Ferrari. Lorenzo sticking their nose out all the way down the inside. Looking to go for a very late lunge. Not going to do it. So that will hold that position for the time being.
Ken Miller is around.
Is side by side with Boonstra. Boonstra closes the door on Zuch. Boonstra will keep that position. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Ken Miller just lost it in the last corner. Overtook the curbs there.
Unfortunate sequence of events, as most of this race has been for the most part. Zuch getting a little bit out on the sand. Lorenzo now all over the back of Sadat. Could look for a dive here into the next turn. Not very overtaking turn, but we've seen Justin do it. Coming up into corkscrew now. Lorenzo's carrying all the speed compared to Sadat. Does just have to kind of stick behind him in this part of the track. It's not very liable to go too wide here. Just to put in perspective right now, gap to leader is 8 seconds. Cameron running away with this one. As down on the inside, Lorenzo goes. What a move. Sadat tries to do a switchback. Not going to be able to get it done. Lorenzo holds that speed. Keeps the position. What an absolute stunning move. Late lunge. Perfect clean down on the inside. That doesn't look to be doing anything of it. we'll just have to slot back in line and go with it. Sky poking their nose out down on Justin. Not going to happen. Justin actually goes extremely deep, opens the door for Zach. Sky's still holding that inside line, but now here comes Justin on the way back, holding the inside line for the next corner, is able to stick it. There's contact between the two. Both drivers off into the gravel. Gifts Dreebs 2 positions for free, and Sky will reclaim that position.
And Dreebs has had the fortune so far this race of just contact between other drivers in front of him and just cleanly going through.
I do not believe Tibbetts is racing tonight. Whoever said that in chat. Unfortunately. Here in the course through relatively get in line kind of place. Schlitz looks to be wanting past Sky. Not going to do it in corkscrew, but all over that bumper of Sky. Side by side they go here into an actual extremely long corner. Does look like Schlitz will have this position on Sky. In fact, he does. Sky not going to fight that one all too much, as he knows Donahue coming up on the back of him. Could the rise of Donahue be commencing after a late collision as Zach Sky is all over in the sand? Donahue has a perfect opportunity to get up behind here, late break in the turn 2. Slipstream is happening. Donahue taking that extreme inside line here. Side by side they go down in the turn 2. Donahue does have the inside line, is able to hold it. Sky not able to defend that position off. Justin is on the way back. Donahue getting a little wiggly on exit. We'll open the door again for Sky, and Sky does take that as another Ghost Rider car is there in the fray. Actually wiggles off. Sky reacts to it and ends up spinning out. Sarver and Sky.
Sarver just took too much of that sausage curb,
Kevin,
and it unsettled the car.
Not sure who that was in the Ghost Rider livery who happened to spin out there. Unfortunate sequence of events for them. Sky just not getting kind of the poopy end of the stick there, having to react to it. Kevin Unda getting a little bit out on the grass there. Or the grass, sorry, the sand. Forgot we're in California. We don't have grass out here.
No, we don't. It'll all die.
So, side by side in the corkscrew we go. Unda's going to pull out of this. Robichar will take that position. Smart on Unda the pull out. That was contact waiting to be had. Oh, Unda needs to pull it together. Sideways they go. Spins it out. Too much sausage curb. We'll need to rejoin the track safely. Try not to do it at a perpendicular angle, but fortunate sequence of events for Kevin Unda there. So I believe we have we've lost 2 people today so far.
I believe you're correct.
Dreebs is all over the back of Boonstra right now. Dreebs being patient, not overtaking here, just waiting for the mistake that Boonstra does. Dreebs is going to go try to attempt a side-by-side in the corkscrew with Boonstra. Boonstra is going to back out of this one. Dreebs taking an extreme inside. Looks like there was contact ahead between Zooch and Air. Air not going to be happy about that one. Zooch gets away cleanly for that. Now Dreebs is all over the back of Zooch. There are cars everywhere on this track. Throw your pit strategies out the window because there is none. There's no open gaps for you to pit into. Boonstra, Dreebs, Zooch all in this battle for P7. Everywhere else is relatively kind of gappy. The battles have subsided finally after 15 minutes. Absolute chaos up here in the booth. What have you been noticing, Bailey?
I've just been kind of watching Dreebs dissect through the field right now. He's making it look super easy.
Not what you want to hear, because that usually means that there's a lot of cars causing collisions.
That's been the key to him, is everybody in front of him has either collided or have gone off track.
But he does look extremely pacey in that Aston Martin. Catching Zuch relatively quickly here. Sliding the car a little bit in the corkscrew as well. Putting it on edge. Not what you want to see if you're Anastasi is Dreebs start creeping up on your relative time.
Yeah, especially from pit lane as they both go deep.
Is able to get the move done out of a little bait on Zuch. Zuch now open for Boonstra to take. They will end up probably going side by side here down in turn 2. Boonstra does have the inside here. Holding a big inside. Zuch is going to try to come back in for the switchback. Cars are side by side along. There is collision between the two. Boonstra gets pushed over into the sand. Zuch, they are still side by side. Boonstra has the inside line. Zuch holding the outside. Not going to be able to get done. Boonstra will have that position for themselves. Zuch back on the comeback here, now down the inside of this next turn. Boonstra not going to be able to defend. Late on the brakes they are, but they are ending up going wide. Has to brake a little bit more than they would have liked. Zuch now taking that position straight back. I think I'm losing my voice.
There's so much going on. Skusa has actually been able to catch up to Schaefer because Schaefer's been stuck behind Santer as the blue flag, and Santer is not looking to let either one of them through at the moment.
Not what you want here. Next person after that blue flag is Anastasi, though.
Yeah. And now Lorenzo also dabbling in this.
This is going to get extremely spicy. Schaefer finally overtaking Skusa, getting through. Lorenzo not able to get through. All over the back of that blue flag, not going anywhere.
Yeah, Schaefer lost, I think, 3 seconds to the blue flag there.
As an absolute mega time loss. Dreebs side by side with Sadat. Still going. Dreebs does have the inside here. Sadat pulls out. Dreebs going a little deep. Is able to hold the car, so he will hold that position. Dreebs is now up into P6.
Yeah, he's flying along. He's making it look so easy. He's the only one right now lapping in the 23s.
Mega laps he is throwing down Sadat. Playing tires in the sand, not going to help him if he's trying to catch back up the Dreebs. If you're Anastasia and you're looking down at your relative, you're starting to see that D poke up into your driver's box.
Yeah.
Skusa now coming all over the back of Schaefer. Almost diving down. Not going to be able to do it. Slots right back in line. Can they get the slipstream? That is a McLaren engine, not the fastest thing in the world. But these also aren't extremely long straights.
The McLaren has just enough to hold off here.
Now that I think about it, I don't even think you hit 6th gear on this track.
I do.
Really?
I believe I do, yeah. Could be the reason why I'm so slow.
Maybe why you're short shifting up to 6. You need to calm down there, bud.
Short shifting up to 6.
As Schlitz now trying to get past Air. Over the back here. Air's trying to catch up the Boonstra, who's in a fight with Zuch at the moment. Drivers are being held up everywhere. And it's only going to complicate things in 4 minutes when pit window starts opening. Ooh, blue flag got a little wide in corkscrew. Boonstra's able to get by, but Air is now being held up by the blue flag. Not what you want to see. Blue flag actually goes off to the side, almost spinning out into Schlitz. Not going to happen though. Schlitz all over the back of Air. No move happening. Can they hold enough speed here to actually put their nose down on the inside? Doesn't look so. Schlitz needs to find a good exit here in that BMW to punch their way through. Maybe this turn 2 is the way. Pulling out of the draft for whatever reason. Not going to help them in the slightest. Closing the gap little by little won't happen on this lap. We'll have to see 4 other corners probably next lap. Air is doing a very good job of defending this position.
And Dreves just set a new personal best of the race with a 23.5. Had a whole entire lap for himself.
He's just dove on the back of Robertshard, being a sportsman-like figure and letting Robertshard have that position back. But we'll open the door to Ruzic behind. I believe Ruzic will take this opportunity to go down on the inside. No, they won't. They'll just hold in place. Yeah, just not being good. Might be a little rattled from that collision. Ruzic really wants by here. Not going to be able to get it done, though. So you have Schlitz in your picture-in-picture window. Trying to catch back up, lost a little bit of time. Zuch also trying to get some time to Sadat here. These three not giving way for each other at all. They are just kind of threading the line. Try to make up some time to the competition in front. It works. Ruzic is now falling away from this pack. Is the McLarens there inherently better in the corkscrew and the turn after that? But Ruzic coming right back at it. Nothing happening though. They all still be slotting just straight in line. Ruzic needs a good exit here to put that Ferrari power to the test, but doesn't look to be happening anytime soon. Now Zuch all over the back of Sadat. Side by side, we're actually going in the corkscrew here. A true side by side. Zuch having to take to the escape road. Or, I say road, it is just gravel.
More of the escape line.
Opens the door for Boonstra, who's now all over the back of Zuch. Boonstra on that McLaren, not the most powerful engine. Zuch knows that. Will defend the inner line, so Zuch cannot. So Boonstra can't get a clean exit. Zuch is going to be able to outpower that McLaren. Boonstra trying to find a way back here. Down on the inside, they're peaking. Not going to be able to do the move though. Too far back. We'll slot back in line for next lap.
If these two aren't careful, they're going to start a train here again with Donahue catching up to Aaron Schlitz as those two are going side by side in the same section.
Well, that train might be broken up because pit window has now opened. Drivers have 10 minutes to get in and refuel at least 1 liter of fuel. Zach Sky already going to be doing that. So is Ruzic. Robertshard going to take it. Space Baker's going to take it. Drivers getting their pits done early. So instead of avoiding the group that they were all in, they decided to pit as a group. Interesting strategies from everyone.
So we are now down to 24 drivers.
We are losing them like flies. Shepard also in the pits. Unda in the pits.
Donahue in the pits.
Donahue now in pits. No one else has pit. Boonstra a little bit closer to Zuch on this lap than the last one. Not going to do it. No dive needed there. Can they beat the car exit in the pit? It will look like they indeed will do that. So no blue flag liability there. Boonstra. Now it's the thing about Schlitz. Boonstra actually gets a terrible exit. Schlitz down on the inside here, side by side. Boonstra's actually going to go too fast. Goes deep into the sand. Schlitz will take that position right from her. He starts to charge the Zuch. See, Ruckton in the pits now. Everyone could direct their attention to the left side of the screen if you're wondering who has pit and who has not pit. Anyone with a orange 1, people who still need the pit. Anyone that have a green line, good to go. Don't have to pit. Already did it. Spoonstra is now all over the back of Schlitz. Once that position back is faster in this section. Not going to be faster if you take the sand, though. So we'll have to back out, but Schlitz also dips 2 tires into the sand there. Boonstra looking down the inside. Schlitz is going to defend that in the braking zone. We'll have a better engine here on the straight, but Boonstra does have the slipstream from that wide BMW. Can she get enough speed to take it down on the inside here? Doesn't look so. That BMW of Schlitz will just stay there. Stop go 30 for Kevin Unda.
Oh, no. Oh, and Dreebs goes down the inside of Lorenzo and they make contact. Dreebs thinking about waiting as he's still waiting, kinda. They both lose a position to Scusa.
We'll get that position back, it looks like.
Yeah. Dreebs just getting kind of antsy here. Running out of time as he has made his way all up to 6th. So, kind of making desperate moves. So, kind of careful.
Still have half the race left to go, man. You made up a lot of positions already.
I think Lorenzo just lets him go.
Plenty more time to go. So Lorenzo does. Just let him go. Zooch. Sadat. Not too clean on letting Zooch go here. So we have more drivers into the pits. That's Scusa. Zooch is going to decide to break away into the pits. Very weird pit entrance if you watch that. Scusa in the pits. Air's going to go into the pits. May's been in the pits. Lorenzo still on Dreebs, but not by a lot. Robert Sharp will be able to beat out May. Their closest battle right now is Lorenzo and Dreebs. But I will say the gap from Cameron to Anastasi has come down a bit. It's now 9 seconds.
Yeah, it's just been kind of floating between 9 and 11 seconds here. Wonder if Cameron's starting to feel a little tire wear.
Could be. Tires could be a strat on this track as the hot temperatures can eat into the tires, and it's such a fast track and so many corners it will just absolutely eat away. Cameron doing a good job to pick his way through the blue flag drivers. Mai approaching Robichard. Not going to be getting anything done in the corkscrew here. So we'll just slide right back in line. Zooch is now approaching Sarver. Sarver has yet to pit, so not the obstacle Zooch wants to come across in terms of undercutting Sadat.
Sarver pulls in.
Does pull in. That's good for Zooch, but Zooch gonna take it a little deep there. So your top 8 still all need the pit. That's Cameron, Anastasi, Schaefer, Dreebs, Lorenzo, Sadat, Schlitz, and Boonstra. The gap has now come down to 8 seconds.
And still falling.
Still falling. Not sure what's happening. Cameron does have clear skies in front of him right now. Let's still have to pit here. I'm very curious to see if Anastasi decides to take their pit before Cameron. Might be where these blue flags kind of fall on them. Sky is approaching Robichard here. Open the corkscrew. Nothing should come from this. Robichard is going to take it a little deep. Sky's going to have to react to that. Tries to take the corkscrew a little bit wider, get the run here on the outside. Not the ideal line through this corner. Robichard will be able to hold that. Schlitz and Boonstra have both pitted for their mandatory pit stop. Shepard has been in the pits an extremely long amount of time, so long that they're 17 laps down. So that might be the end of their race.
Yeah, he was in pits for a long time. Yeah, lap. What lap are we even on?
22.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been in the pits for a very long time.
Sky having to pull out of the move they were about to do on Robichard, but...
And Santa has spun.
Stop go 30 for Schlitz.
Oh, no.
That spells good in the eyes of Air and Boonstra right now. As our
Cameron
race
hooks
leader.
in.
Yep, Cameron into the pits. Curious to see if Anastasi follows. And he does. As Sky trying to go down the inside of Robichard. There's contact between the two cars. And Sky will not get that position. We'll have
Dreves also tucks into the pits.
Top
followed by Lorenzo.
If they don't pit this lap, they definitely have to pit next lap, as side by side they have drivers going. Sky defending against Space Baker and the corkscrew. It's a good job at it as well.
Yeah, I think Schaefer is the only viable one that is able to make it on the next one.
Madison also has a stop go 30. Boonstra trying to make up this time to Air. Wants to punch their way back into the top 10. Everyone has pit except for Schaefer. We have lost about 4 drivers, so...
I'd say 5, because Shepard hasn't left the pit since lap 4.
We'll take it. You're right. We still have 26 minutes left in this race. Schlitz is going in to serve their stop go 30. Boonstra is looking to close that gap. Speaking of closing gap, Dreves and Scusa here. Getting relatively close. Dreves going a little deep. Is able to hold it on track though. Maybe that's just the line. Maybe I'm done.
That's been his line all night.
Take notes, Bailey.
I would if I was
that's
driving
not
the car.
line though. That's two tires in the sand.
As they are coming up on this blue flag.
Oh, very early on the brakes, everyone is there. Trying to get around. Scusa is not going to be able to do it. Actually forces wide. Dreves is going to take that move on the inside. That leaves the space for Scusa. Going to defend the middle line. Does keep it. Dreves hits the sausage curb. It's very sketchy. Coming down on the outside is Scusa. Dreves still down the inside. Scusa going mega deep. So Dreves will just take that position.
All this because of Santer. Santer just not having it today.
You know what has happened in all of the chaos of pit window?
Dreves up to P4.
Dreves in P4, the leader gap has shrunk to 5/10.
Wow.
Not sure if there was different strategies here, but I don't think neither took tires, to say the least.
Could have been a fuel thing.
Could have been a fuel thing.
Nick could have probably, I think it's, or Cameron, I don't know what his first name is. Yeah, Cameron. I don't know why I call him Nick. Cameron probably took less fuel.
He might have.
Because there was a good 7-8 second gap there between them.
Well, most of that gap was built off at the start where everyone was absolutely murdering each other.
Yeah.
To start, but that gap looks to be building back. About a second is the gap now. Could just be a Honda meta.
Maybe. The Aston Martin has done pretty well around here, though, from what I've seen.
It's done decent. It hasn't been a star. It's been the more middle ground car, to say the least.
We have 4 in the top 6 at the moment.
Yes. Donahue in the P7, so Stasi's going to get really deep. That's not going to help their gap at all. Going to have to work a little bit extra harder. Speaking of Donahue, we have a 3-way battle. Zooch, Donahue, and Lorenzo. Altogether, Donahue could look down here on the inside of Zooch. Not going to do it. We'll just stay right in line. Lorenzo is going to kick back, eat some popcorn, and watch this show go down. Stasi's now closing the gap. The 3/10 is always able to close the gap to a really small portion here up in the corkscrew, but not able to get the move done.
Yeah, it looks like he's having a hard time following here.
I can personally say dirty air here hits different than any other track.
Visibility might also be the issue, seeing the corner coming at you from out of nowhere.
That's also true. Some of these corners can be a little blind, especially when you have a extremely wide car in front of you. But they do look to be decently close enough. If Anastasi can pick up enough of the slipstream here, could look for a move. Doesn't look to be coming this lap. Donahue's off into the sand. That leaves the door open for Lorenzo. Lorenzo will take that all day. Lorenzo will beat Donahue to this, but Donahue does have that slipstream coming down here in the turn 2. Zuch is loving this, is able to get away with murder for free, essentially.
Should be a Monopoly card.
Donahue not going to get the move. We'll stick back in for another lap. Sadat. Justin's going to be overtaking Sadat here on the inside. Down in turn 2, Sadat's going to look for the inside line down into the braking zone. Is able to get late on the brakes. Justin just avoiding taking the extreme outside line here, and Sadat will just take that position straight back. Quote this night by Ken in chat. Pain. We're not in Spain anymore. We can't drop the S. These gaps are starting to open up a lot.
We lost another driver.
We have Anastasi's keeping that gap relatively close. Justin's coming up on Sadat here in the corkscrew, very hard on the brakes. Has to be practically bumper to bumper. Nothing will come out of that. We still have 20 minutes left of racing. Sadat's off into the sand. Justin will take that position off Sadat's hands for free. Away they go. Space Baker now coming up all over the back of Robichard. Not going to get any move done here. Anastasi is still closing that gap ever so slightly. We can stop and breathe for a minute. So now we have about three-quarters of the race done. I need a star driver from you. Who surprised you? He's been.
I mean, it's got to be Dreebs.
Even though he's self-inflicted his start from last.
I mean, we got to look at what happened with Donahue last weekend. Started from the pits, come back to 8th. Dreebs did it, I would say, a little bit better. Started from the pits. We don't know if it was on purpose. Maybe it was all part of the plan. But all the way up to P4 and still hunting down the top 3 here.
It's all just promotion.
Yeah, I mean,
it's for clout.
To me, it's been a quality race. He's been lapping good. His overtakes. There was one moment where he had a sketchy overtake, but he gave the position back, so it was out of respect. Otherwise, I think everything's been well planned, well executed.
Maybe we will just have to talk to him after this race. Currently, Cameron leading the race. Anastasi is forcing some pressure, as you can see in your picture-in-picture window. Schaefer leading the silvers. Everyone is off on their own little island here. About 5 seconds is your average kind of gap right now. Your closest ones beating Anastasi and Cameron, and Space Baker and Robertshard. Nothing really coming from the two just yet. Anastasi's probably buying their time. Space Baker might not want to make an extremely ballsy move in the corkscrew.
Stasi is sniffing for the overtake.
It's a change in leadership. I want it on the big screen. Although I do love that wing view. No move is going to get done here just yet. 3/10 is the gap. This is the closest they have ever been, essentially, coming up into this portion. Anastasi has been faster at this part of the track than Cameron. Cameron coming in clutch when needed.
That's all you got to do around this track. Just park it where you need to.
Slow in, fast out is my saying here. If you can do that, you've essentially become the conductor of the race. Anastasi has started losing some of these apexes here. It's actually costing him a lot of time. You kind of picked up, he hasn't really been hitting those inside curbs really well. It's actually just been giving Cameron tense to just kind of claw away.
Yeah, but Anastasi makes it all back into turn one here. Goes a little deep.
A little deep, not going to be very good. Going to try to bring this back here with the amount of power you can bring into this corner. Not going to be enough. Still getting a little wiggly as well. Anastasi's putting it all out there. Really wants by. Wants this win. We haven't brought Anastasi up for a win interview in quite a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. He's been there though.
He's been always on top.
Yeah, which is why he is currently leading the D4 driver standings.
It's good on him. The only battle on track now is this battle that we're watching right now. Everyone else, decent gaps.
Yeah.
Keep monitoring, let you know if we see anything, but you can also keep an eye on yourself. Left side of your screen, you can see everyone's gaps. Schaefer is just about 9 seconds off of these two, so if these two actually start getting punchy here in the next few laps, could find Schaefer being opened into this top 3 battle now. Same with Dreebs.
Yeah, Dreeb's still lapping in the 23s, almost a second quicker than these top 2 right here. That's full false. It's about 3/10. Sorry. Math's hard.
Does hold our fastest time as well here. 23.4. Fastest time lap around this track right now. That lap relatively was 1/10 quicker than Schaefer and about 7/100ths quicker than Anastasi. Anastasi is faster than Cameron though. Kind of want to note down on your tablets, everyone, by 1/10.
We got tablets.
Do you not bring a tablet to the commentating booth?
They didn't give me any.
Bring your own. Unprofessional. So, I see a lot of green arrows.
Someone disconnected would be my guess.
You believe so, but who was it? I can't tell.
It was whoever was in P7.
It would be correct. Or P6.
I believe Donahue was the first one with the green arrow.
My eyes deceive me. Ooh, bad exit from Anastasi. Not going to do well for him. The straight where he makes up most of his time back doesn't look like he'll be making up any time on this one. Now Zuch has actually come within battle of Scusa. Closing the gap ever so slightly. Zuch not being able to hold that final turn good. Will have to slot back. Zuch setting their personal best time of a 24 flat last lap. 24.4, sorry. Last lap. Didn't do so hot this lap. Stasi was really just buying his time. I really commend his patience here.
Yeah.
As Cameron makes a mistake here, getting really slow out of corkscrew, closing the gap is Anastasi. There's contact between the two.
No.
Anastasi will pull off to the side and wait.
All of a sudden.
For Cameron. Will end up going to kind of keep the speed. Cameron is coming back here, but if I'm not mistaken, that's going to bring Schaefer into this fight. Anastasi looks like he's going to keep the place here.
I mean, it's also brought Dreebs about 10 to 12 seconds closer.
Not what you wanted from the top two. You wanted a clean overtake so you could keep that gap. Not going to happen, it looks like. Anastasi is going to have to take this one to the races, boding any penalty that may happen from this, whether that be on Anastasi or on Cameron. Either way, we can't comment on that.
No, and both probably running with severe damage now, so the lap times are going to decrease for them. Schaefer on the prowl right now. If he can get past Cameron, there's a chance at him for a race victory.
There it is. Schaefer's sitting very clean and for not only his division of silver, but overall. Kind of right where you want to be in this pocket. Because Cameron catches right back up. It's going to be a no-holds-bar against Anastasi.
For sure.
Blood in the water now.
Yeah, just going off of that, Dreebs was actually a whole 10 seconds quicker that last lap.
It was an absolute insane time as Donahue's yellow flagged in the wall.
Oh, no.
Back to the fall of Donahue we go.
Yeah, it was his words. He said, mediocre Donahue tonight.
Gassing
His words.
Too much up on the sand. Not going to get any damage, though. Keeps it out of the wall, so good on him. But that does open the door for air now. Zuch is all over the back of Skuza again. Looking down on the inside in turn 2. Not going to happen. We'll slot right back in. Ooh, might look a little bit on the inside. Not going to do it. That is a deceiving gap as that gap closes extremely quickly. Which will need to get by here in the next 10 minutes if they want a top 5 finish. 50 minutes of racing are gone and they have surely been action-packed, to say the least. I would argue maybe one of our more action-packed races of the season so far.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way at all. Nonetheless, I'm losing my voice. Such coming up into corkscrew with Skuza. No moves, nothing really horrendous happening here, but all clean. Schaefer actually closing this gap to Cameron relatively quickly as well. Not able to get that move done there, but they have a very good line here coming up in the turn 2.
And unfortunately going against the same car, so all she's going to have is slipstream to overpower.
So
goes for it. Skuza slides. Oh, little bump. Skuza lets her go.
Does make it stick. Might have gone a little deep, made it stick, parked it right on the apex, so whether that's a clean move or not, I cannot comment.
I believe all is fair. I think it was a very good
for
move.
me, as long as you're on track and you made it stick, it's good by me. Good racing. Top 5 for Zuch at this moment, and is absolutely flying away from Skuza now.
If Schaefer's got anything left, now's the time to do it.
Yes.
Hit the NOS button.
Need to get into that slipstream. He is in a McLaren, so his engine power is not good at all.
Yeah,
Versus
Lord knows
the
that
Honda
McLaren
engine.
needs it.
So needs to really tuck into that slipstream and stay with Schaefer all the way throughout the lap. Just having so many issues staying with him on the straight here. It's probably the closest Schaefer has at least stuck in this portion of the track. Sticking their tires into the gravel a little bit, not what you want entirely.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling with some oversteer at the moment, from what I can see.
Really trying to push this car here. Is in the slipstream though, so can catch all of that dirty air and also non-dirty air down the main straight. As a matter of fact, they can keep it all the way through corkscrew in these final turns. McLaren will excel here. In the next few corners, it won't excel at all. Not the greatest exit either. Cameron just being so precise with that Honda as well.
Yeah, if Cameron's got any damage, he's sure making it look like there's none.
Not closing the gap to Anastasi, but is keeping it within a 3-second gap here. So any mistake Anastasi makes comes with a price. It's like Donahue's mistake is coming with a price now as the air is closing the gap now down to 5/10. Boomstra's waiting in the wings. This fight to go down. 6.5 minutes left in the race. Maybe some spare change depending on where the leader finishes. Donahue's engine not going to help him down here on the main straight. Johnny Air trying to make up all of that time that they lost in the corners. Not going to be able to do it. So we'll have to slot back in for another lap.
And say that Anastasi gets that 10 seconds. He's going all the way back to P4.
Yeah, not where you want to be.
Really camera goes a little wide. Schaefer is here.
Same time to overtake Schaefer. Now is the time. Needs to look for the turn 2. Try to get all of this slipstream here. Tuck right in behind it. Don't poke out too early. Not going to be able to do it. Very late on the brakes. Not going to be able to get the move done. We'll have to slot back in for another lap, unfortunately. Air is not able to keep up with Donahue in these long flowy corners. That Porsche is just absolutely dominating it. They're being extremely late on the brakes. Not going to get a good exit here onto the pit straight. He's actually opening the door up for Boonstra in the back. You can look in your picture-in-picture window. Schaefer is closing the gap more and more to Cameron right now.
They are approaching some blue flags. Gonna see how this plays out.
Cameron's going side by side in the corkscrew with a blue flag. Schaefer is going to try to follow through, and the blue flag gets it put in the way.
Oh, and
Dreeb's rear ends the back of Schaefer. Schaefer had nowhere to go. Dreeb's on the outside. Schaefer is going to have to stick it here. Going to try to defend against Dreeb's. Going a little wide. Dreeb's will take that inside. If you're Schaefer, you can't be too happy about that.
Oh, that is upsetting to see.
Schaefer still winning the silver division right now, but his possible overtaking chances of Cameron are gone.
Cameron saved a little bit from that as well.
Fight is now breaking out between Donahue, Air, and Boonstra. Nothing coming just yet. Air really needs to find a good exit here onto the main straight, and he has Donahue wrapped up like a ball if he can do that. closing the gap ever so slightly. Not going to be able to get it done this lap. Boonstra is waiting in the wings. Donahue goes a little deep. Does open the door for Air. Air's not going to be able to take advantage of that one. We'll have to slot back in. Air actually going to clip some sand there on the exit. Boonstra loves seeing that. Might get a place here to promote herself up to P8. Gap from Anastasia to Cameron is now 6.5 seconds. Roughly 3.5 seconds got added on due to that blue flag incident.
Yeah, and Dreves is right on the back of Cameron too. So there is a chance that Cameron theoretically could, or not Cameron, Dreves could still theoretically win this race.
It's always a theoretical here, but we can't say it for ourselves.
Like
Donahue.
Like my theoretical 21.
Exactly. Boonstra all over the back of Air right now. Donahue slowed Air up into the corner. Boonstra not going to be able to take advantage just yet, but it is just right there. Going to look for a better exit. Does take a little bit of sausage there, so not really going to be feeling it this straight. Dreves is now in range of Cameron for the P2 finish. Air is going really deep. Boonstra's going to try to take advantage of this one. Sticking her nose up on the inside there is going to allow for the space for Air to get back into this. Boonstra going to hold the outside here. Air still holding the inside. Boonstra coming back, switching back. Coming to try on the inside. Air trying to fend off. Is going to be entitled to the apex. Not going to take it. Boonstra side by side. They go into the next turn. Air has the inside line here. Boonstra going to try to hold the outside with that McLaren. They go side by side. Very close. They are still side by side. Clean racing from both these people. I believe her leader is on the final lap right now. So we have one more lap plus one. Side by side. They are still going. Boonstra up into corkscrew. Air and Boonstra are doing a really great job of keeping this clean. Air looks to be edging out Boonstra here. Boonstra does back out. We'll allow Air to take that shallow line into corkscrew. But Boonstra is coming right back at him. Down on the inside, Boonstra grows. Not going to float the car out. Actually doing a perfect line to do the overtake. And great move done. Good racing between Air and Boonstra.
And Dreves is going for it. Oh, sausage. Can he stick it? And Cameron holds him off with a little mini switchback. Dreves had it done, but he just turned in too much and hit the sausage curb and unsettled the car. And Dreves is flustered. Dreves is in the gravel.
Now what you want to see is the final lap, so it's kind of do the overtake or you need to send it on the last turn. Doesn't look like you wanted to wait for the last turn. Schaefer is now kind of up in this mix, but it's probably a little too late. Anastasia, who has been relatively waiting in the wings the entire race, will come across the line here shortly and be your official race winner, round 7, Laguna Seca. Matt Anastasia will take the win. Cameron able to fend off Dreams will take P2. Dreams not going to be able to get that move done, so we'll take P3, put her into the wall out of frustration. Schaefer will take the win for silver and almost the back of whoever that was. Zooch, good race from her. Good overtakes, good showing. Might have been a little sloppy here and there, but we'll secure P6, I believe.
P5.
P5. Escusa gets P6. Donahue will be able to get P7. But man, that coin mediocre Donahue at least get enough for a top 10. Good points. Boonstra will come in for P8. Good race from her. Air, P9. Rounding out our top 10, Justin. Well, what a race indeed.
Yes, that is for sure.
Had its ups and downs, to say the least. Lots of carnage off the bat, but some good racing there to kind of remedy the entire situation with Boonstra and Air. So we'll look for Matt Anastasia, get him in for an interview after a long-awaited win. See in chat anywhere.
Might still be waiting.
Could be
for
coming
the
down from
race.
the high real quick.
Could be.
So many Anastasi will get our silver race winner Schaefer attempt to. Then we want to talk to the man, the myth, the legend, Dreebs. Anastasi, come on down, please. Everyone needs to stop joining VC. Matt Anastasi, it's been a hot minute, but you're here, round 7. Got the race win. How you feeling?
Well, I'm sick as shit, so I feel awful. I was fine last night for the practice race, and then woke up just deathly ill today. And honestly, I mean, I'm happy I won. I feel terrible. I got in some contact with Cameron, and I don't know. I can't say whose fault it was, but it's disappointing that it happened that way. And then yeah, I don't know what happened to Dreves. I saw his card disappeared right at the beginning of the formation lap.
Yeah,
he something happened. He was in the pit lane, but
he came back.
Luckily he came back. But fortunately for you, you finished ahead of him still, which is good for you in the points.
Yeah, he's quick, man. He's definitely been putting me under pressure, and him and Fade, which I don't know what happened to Fade either, but this has been such a blast, and I love the competition in D4, and these guys are great to race with.
We won't pack it up just yet. You still have one more week at Kalami, so anything can still happen there. You can get the championship swiped right out from under your feet. So hopefully you get better so you can keep that defense up, win your first championship title.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Have a good night. Feel better.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
I dropped them in the wrong race chat. I'm sorry. That's D1. I'm sorry, Matt. We looking. Where is he? Where's the man, the myth, the legend, Schaefer? Silver winner. Is it Logan Schaefer?
Yes, sir.
Move that boy up in here. Logan Schaefer, a name that we have not really called out on too much this season, but coming here, taking Silver's win. How you feeling tonight?
Honestly, I didn't know I took the win.
But
now I feel great.
You took the win from the Silvers. We thought you were honestly going to take the win overall if Anastasi and Cameron got into it again.
Yeah, I'm looking at the replay right now. I feel horrible for the guy that I hit. I feel really bad.
Well,
sorry, Matt.
We can't comment on that entirely. Well, you're welcome to comment on it if you want.
I don't know what happened.
I love it.
I was just I don't.
Do you have any kind of specific strategy coming into the race? Because you drove a McLaren, which isn't a fully favored car around this track. A lot more Porsche and Honda style cars have been seen doing well. So have you kind of altered anything in that matter or thought differently?
Well, what I did was, I think the biggest thing in general that helped was identifying the problem was with my setup and not my driving style. Because I use the Go setups, and to any McLaren drivers listening, please, if you've hit a wall at 140, constantly doing 124s or 123s, please go in and lower your anti-roll bars and stiffen your wheel rates, and just keep the diff at the minimum. You'll find so much time by doing that.
I love
now is that McLaren only or
it's just the McLaren. It's just McLaren things, because isn't it true, like the McLaren, like you really need to be patient on corner, like rotating the car, because it's pretty long, right?
It's a decently long car, but it's also
it looks like a shark
aero heavy car, so the turning comes from all of your fast corners and everything like that.
Yeah, but basically though, for the low speed corners, which Laguna has a lot of, so do that. And for the corner coming out of the what's it called, bus stop, I think that's what it's called, or is it the corkscrew? The corkscrew. Just don't brake. Just let off the gas. Literally, don't brake. let off the gas and just kind of coast your way around. And if you need to go kind of out a little bit, go on the gas a little bit. And then if you do everything correctly, you can go full power I'm going to say like a good solid, like 10 or 15 feet before the apex. And that's how I got a ton of time against Nate Cameron, actually.
I love it. I love racing tips, coaching time with Logan. Hopefully we'll see you next week in Kalami taking another silver victory for you.
I plan on layering on the pressure like mayonnaise in Cheetah, so I can't wait to try out my skills there.
I love to see it. Can't wait. Have a good night. Get to practicing.
You too.
Just tell me you two to get to practicing.
Yeah, get to practicing, Taylor. Come on. Come on. Let's get to practice.
And we want Dreebs. Where are you at? Dreebs in chat.
He is.
He is. Landon Dreebs. There he is. You're mine. Come here.
Whoa.
Landon Dreebs. Ups and downs for you this race. Starting from the pit lane. Intentional, unintentional, either way, but came all the way back up to P3. How are you feeling? He's not feeling anything, guys.
You killed him. You killed him.
He's not feeling anything, unfortunately.
Yo, sorry,
Oh,
what's
gosh.
up? Mic muted. What's up, guys? Yeah,
What's happening?
it was an interesting race. I don't know what happened. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there idling away, just waiting for my cue to hit into first gear, and saw it counting down, and I got teleported. And I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the angriest I've ever been at this video game. But that's okay because this season it's a learning experience. I came in at the start not even knowing how to tune, or half these tracks were totally unknown to me. So we've learned a lot, and we'll learn from whatever happened there. I'll watch the replay, see what happened. I don't know, but it was a fun race though. I love Laguna. It's one of my favorites, especially from like AC1 and all the other games. I was really looking forward to this one, and to have it sort of like, got the pole, which, slim margins. Riggs was super fast. Props to him. He put in the work this week. And I was feeling pretty confident, got the pole. I was like, all right, time to, kind of just check out. But, it was a lot of battling. And I feel sorry for whoever was in my warpath, especially Lorenzo. That was an unprecedented move. I know that's not the corner you're supposed to go for that move. Honestly, I was kind of doing the stuff I wasn't supposed to do the entire race. I was making moves in the corkscrew, but I was seeing that red mist. I was real angry. And of course, in that last lap, I saw my window. I wasn't going to go for it. And the sausage curb, I avoided all race, no sausage curb hits. And then, of course, in that last move, just cut a bit too inside and then got sent. Yeah, and then from then on, it was like, yeah, well, third place isn't too bad. And unfortunately, though, my teammate wasn't able to show up, so it's a lone effort tonight, but that's okay. I think driver's points is still a good points night. Anastasi was the one I was fighting tonight. He was supposed to be the one leading points and whatnot, but so obviously good win to him. He deserves it. I think he's been second more races than I've even raced. So props to him for getting his win. It's going to be a close one into Kailami. Got a lot of work to do, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, can't wait for Kalami because that battle, that's really going to come down to where you secured enough points to at least stay with the championship fight into the final race. So If all cards land, you might be walking away with a championship here.
You never know what can happen. Tonight I thought it would be smooth sailing, but you never know. You might expect one thing and something else entirely different will happen.
Exactly. You had some holes in your sails. That's what happened.
That's right. That's right. Well, it was fun. I mean, shoot, I hadn't made that many passes in a video game in forever. So
yeah, I think I looked before the end of the race. You had 25 positions gained.
Holy hell! I'll take that.
Yeah, that's a big win there.
Casually.
Well, fun.
Enjoy the rest of your night. Try not to beat yourself up too much, or praise yourself too much. Get the work in on that Kalami, and
appreciate it.
See if you can take out the win there.
Absolutely. Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good night.
You too.
What a guy. He gave us his entire strategy flat out.
I know. Without even asking. How about that?
I think personally, he forgot to put his key in ignition.
Well, he said he was waiting to pull away. I mean, potentially, but
I mean,
I don't know.
if you have manual start on, then you have to manually start on the grid as well, I'm pretty sure.
Could be.
Either way, if you liked what you saw here, want to be part of the chaos or community, or be like Schaefer, where don't know anything about tuning or anything, and look at what he's did. He's giving you tips and tricks. Come
If you're
join.
driving the McLaren.
Exactly. Come join Sim Racing Alliance, simracingalliance.com. Has the Discord. Come join us. We're a loving group of people. We all like to be friends with each other. Very non-judgmental here. We just want to see everyone get better, to be honest.
I just want to see everybody smile, personally.
Exactly. Plus,
I'm a smile guy.
We're coming up on the end of this season, so new season will be starting up here shortly after we get a few kinks ironed out in the back end, qualifications, all that fun stuff. So come join simracingalliance.com. We have Kalami next week.
Salami.
We'll see you next time. Signing out with Taylor Bailey Kish. See you next time.
Goodbye.